More than enough entertainment, but we have another guest for you, my final guest. Well, in the words of the king of rock and roll, Elvis, of course, a little less conversation, a little more eating those greens, young lady. It's Lisa Marie Presley. And you look lovely. And yet there's more. They're the guests. We've also got some music for you this evening. Live music from one of the top bands, the Dandy Warhols, playing live on the show this evening. What, yeah, see, that's what you want from a rock and roll band. Silly haircuts. That's one hell of a quiff going on there. Look at that. Fabulous. Just look at that green room. We've got some top British stars, and we've got Lisa Marie Presley trying to work out who they are. No idea. Mind you, Alistair's used to that. What? Before we get on with the show, I've got to share this with you. A rather shocking thing happened to me this week. So we get our final guest out, ladies and gentlemen. I am genuinely thrilled to have her on the show. Would you please welcome Lisa Marie Presley. Hey, how are you?
I'm lovely, thank you.
Thank you for coming on the programme.
Thank for having me.
How long are you in the UK for?
I'm leaving after I'm flying out once I leave.
Straight after the show, or
yeah.
You don't have to rush away, you know, we can... have you been to the UK much before? Have you been to London before?
3 times, you're railing, coming through, you know.
But you've never stopped and you enjoyed the capital? You've never hung around here?
This is the first time, yeah.
And are you travelling with your family, with your children, or solo?
My children.
Okay. And how old are they now?
They're 13 and 10, you're back there watching.
They're good-looking kids.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Of course, they will be. You're a good-looking woman.
Thank you.
Feel free to return a compliment.
You're a good-looking man.
Okay, now Lisa Marie is over here because it's not out for a while, no, but Lisa Marie has her first album out, To Whom It May Concern. This is out, I believe it's out in July, I think, over here in the UK. I've been listening to it, I listened to it yesterday, I listened today. I don't know what I expected, but it's good. It's rocky. It's quite sort of it's a real kind of rocky, harder sound than I expected for some reason. Let's have a look. This is going to be the first single, I believe.
Yes.
It's just out now. This is called Lights Out. Right. Okay, let's have a look at that and we'll talk about it after.
I didn't know that I'd be sitting in the crowd. Fresh cut grass, stuck around. Everything on my shelf is full.
They did actually blow that car up behind me.
Well, that's just dangerous.
Well, I found out that they could have done it through blue screen.
You could have done it specially. And you're sitting in front of a blind.
Yeah, they said, you know, it's going to be hot, and if there's any problem, the fire department was right there, and they said, we'll come get you. You're going to feel hot, but I want you to act like you're bored and like nothing's happening.
Yeah, well,
and we just shift positions, and you know.
But it must be great fun making a pop video, isn't it?
Yeah, it was fun.
And this is now. Why are you doing this? Because let's face it, you're about as famous as anyone can be, should you so choose to be. I think you've got a little bit of money put by. So it's not for those reasons. We seem to be, you know, off on some of the factors why people enter the business. So what is it that you're doing here?
Big music lover. You know, had a huge impact on me my whole life. So I didn't do it to become a pop, you know, whatever. It's not a pop record.
Yeah.
But I just sort of needed to do my own thing, whatever, my way, I guess.
Well, what must be tough for you, I would have thought, is that you know, essentially you're entering the family business here. Okay. Most people get compared to what their parents do. You're going to be compared to the greatest rock singer who ever lived, an iconic figure of the 20th and 21st century. Man, that's tough. I mean, that must have been something you're aware of when you embarked on this.
Yes. Not, you know, I might have underestimated slightly, but I couldn't think like that, you know. Otherwise, I'd never do. I don't want to live in fear.
Yeah. Do you ever regret being born Elvis's kid? The fact that he was your father?
No, because I mean everything has its you know, I don't know any different, and I wouldn't regret that. There's good and bad with everything. It's, you know, everyone has their own mountain to climb.
Oh, it must have been quite an exceptional childhood. I thought. I know you can't compare it to any other kids, the only one you know, but it must have been quite exceptional. What are your fondest memories? What are the?
You know, you'd think it would. Well, there's a lot of them. I mean, being a kid, I was kind of struggling back and forth between being completely unsupervised to very regimented. So it was kind of a.
Because when did your folks split up? You were how old then?
I think 4 or 5.
And so, and your mum, Priscilla, she went to Los Angeles, is that
Yes.
correct? And your dad still lived in Memphis.
Right.
And so you went between the two of them occasionally?
Yeah.
And when you were with him in Graceland, I guess, he used to sleep through much of the day, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
But why was that? Because he was working in the evenings and just partying and
It was
stuff?
nocturnal. Yeah.
Yeah. So what were you doing as a kid, running around in the house during the daytime? I mean, that must have been...
A lot, probably things I shouldn't have been doing.
Yeah. Such as?
Throwing things at fans, you know, terrible, bad,
Throwing
bad.
things
It
at
was
fags.
terrible. Fans, not fags. No.
Yeah, but, well, no, although some of them, they may have crossed over. They might have been...
No, they'd be on the fence, you know,
Yeah.
and then I would be, I was a kid and I had a little big group of friends.
They must have been so excited to see you, I guess. It must have been, even throwing stuff at them must have been fun for them.
Yeah, well, this was my worst period. Let's not, like, label me as the
No,
I was a bit tyrannical as a child, and I straightened myself.
Because I imagine the people who worked in the house, they must have been a bit scary, because suddenly...
Probably.
Yeah, because you could go and tell Dad and they were out the next day.
Yeah, I had a little bit of that happening.
But that must have been great to have that power.
Yeah, but I lost it, you know, so then I had to sort of fend for myself.
Yeah. One thing that struck me, and I was thinking about meeting you today, was most of us, if we lose someone close to us, you know, you move on, and then you remember them as and when you want, and you have a say of that. You have a choice in that matter. For you, I guess that isn't really something which you have, because it's probably more so now than when he was alive. It's impossible to avoid his image. You know, you go in any newsagent, you go in any kind of like the memorabilia store, you turn on the TV, there he is.
Right.
Is that difficult for you? Is that strange?
No, it's not difficult. I've come to terms with that very early on, you know. I'm just trying to do my thing and not necessarily go up against that or compete with that or any of that, you know. Sort of just doing what I felt was instinctive to me. So I kind of got accustomed to that very early.
You do, of course. You look like him, of course. You've grown to look like him, I think, more in recent years. Which is a good thing, because let's face it, he's a good-looking fella.
Right.
My wife is beginning to resemble her father. Which isn't such good news, seeing as he's quite a small, balding Jewish businessman. How old are you now? Can I ask you that?
35.
35. You've been married, what, 3 times? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Most of them fairly short-lived, I believe.
6 years, 2 years, 3 months.
Okay.
So they're going shorter. Next one will be a month and a half.
Yeah, and then after that, you just have a revolving door and go straight.
I need one. You're right.
And your first marriage, I know, is the one that gave you your children, which is obviously, and I believe you're still close to
that's right.
Danny. Is that right?
Yeah.
And the second marriage was Michael Jackson. Okay, now we've all done things which seem like a good idea at the time, but with the benefit of hindsight, that must. What do you make of that period of your life?
You know, that was. See, let me just say this. I'm not in a usual situation. Okay, I'm like female, the celebrity, the money, the whole thing is backwards with me. So when I'm with somebody that doesn't necessarily have a big scene or enough confidence, then it's going to overpower them. That creates resentment. That's a problem. So the next step was go somewhere where they're, you know, the same as or bigger. So that was that. You know, the attraction was probably also me hiding behind the fact that I didn't want to deal with, didn't really want to be in the limelight particularly, or have to do anything on my own. So it was easier for me to sort of be a female and sort of stand behind somebody.
So someone who's bigger than you, even.
Bigger than me, yeah. So that was that, for me, psychologically speaking. And then, you know, you sort of watch me go and find my way in that realm.
Yeah. Do you get the feeling, I mean, at the time, you know, I didn't know the ins and outs of
This is a very deep conversation we're having.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's just between us. Don't need to look
Right.
over there. But no, because I am genuinely fascinated by this. And,
Okay.
you know, Do you feel afterwards that he was using you, that there was something there whereby you served a need for him at that particular time?
I don't know. I don't know for sure, but it looked a little odd, yeah.
Yeah, it does after the event, doesn't it?
Yes.
But at the time, I really got the feeling from you that genuinely you were in the moment, you were living it, and for you there was no deception involved. It's certainly you were not part of something, were you? I got the feeling that you were...
You mean me deliberately being part of something?
It was a proper marriage to you, was it not?
Yeah, it started out that way, yeah.
Yeah. Did you see the interview that was conducted with him by Martin Bashir, the British journalist? What did you make of that?
Well, it broke the week I went out on my first radio tour, so it was kind of...
So that was fun. So
that
you got asked that
fun.
everywhere you went.
Right.
Yeah.
And I thought it looked manipulative. Honestly, I thought it was manipulated.
Did you feel sorry for Jackson?
I felt like it was unfair. You know, I'm not like I thought that, you know, if you're following someone around for 8 months and you're going to condense that into 2 hours, you can manipulate anything you want, edit it any way you want. So I thought it was a bit over the top on that front.
I must admit, I came away from it actually liking Jackson a lot more and intentionally disliking Martin Bashir.
Right.
And I suspect that was pretty much par for the course.
Right.
What do you think was the deal, though, with the baby on the balcony? Well, that was...
God.
That's one of the funniest things I've ever seen on television.
Funny?
Yeah, I just thought that was hilarious.
Really?
Well, it was funny. Come on, he didn't drop the kid. What harm did it do, really? Just, you know, it's a big fuss over it. We've all done things with our children occasionally and caught and dropped them, and then, it happens.
Right.
It toughens them up.
Right.
7 stories, fine.
God. Right.
He probably had someone underneath who would catch it.
Of course.
Are you in touch with it anymore? I guess not.
No.
Are you going to be performing live? Are you going to do this stuff live?
Yeah, I'm doing it live. I've been doing it live in the USA. So.
And how was that? How was that the first time you went out
Well,
there?
they're throwing the baby out with the bathwater. The first gig was in front of the biggest critic there ever. And then the second one was Good Morning America. Third was David Letterman. Fourth live show was Jay Leno.
You said the biggest critic ever. Who was that?
Robert Hilburn.
Okay, I don't know who that is.
The LA Times.
Okay, well, you shouldn't worry about him. We've never heard of him. Okay. Did he like it? Did he like what you did? Or
He gave me a good review.
He gave you a good review. In that case, we think he's a good fella.
Okay.
When you come back, are you coming back in the country later in the year?
Yes.
You'll be playing over here?
I'm sure at some point I will.
Would you come on the show and do a song for us?
Certainly.
I would like to hear you perform live as well. You know, I mean, it's like it is a good album. It kind of reminded me, I don't know whether you like the sort of Sheryl Crow feel to it. It had that kind of rock stuff like that. I know the album's out in July, the single's out in June. I wish you the best of luck with it. I am genuinely delighted to meet you. Like everyone, I'm sure you must be tired of this, but I was, a fan of your dad.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on. I hope you have a good
Thanks for having
stay. Thank you. My thanks, of course, to Lisa Marie Presley, James Nesbitt and Alistair McGowan. Next week, my guest will be Nigel Havers, Denise Lewis, Darius, and music from Keris Matthews. But now, performing We Used to Be Friends, please welcome the Dandy Warhols!